Hello, my fellow truthers. Truth Talk with Tymon. That's me, Tymon. And I call you guys my truthers because I do the actual truth talk. I tell the truth. I tell you how things are. Unlike Donald J. Lion-ass, sack of crap Trump, he's a pathological liar. So if you guys are on Truth Social, get off that Truth Social crap. Because it's not truth. It's untruth social. It's a bunch of lies and conspiracies that these people believe. Trump's destroying our country. Alright. This is a 3-part truth talk on one video. So I'm pretty much doing 3 videos in one. So it's going to be a long truth talk. First part's going to be talking about all the crap that's been going on in the last 6 weeks under the so-called Trump administration. I call it the Trump regime. The second part's going to be about what a tariff is. There's still a lot of people out there that do not know what a tariff actually is. And so I want to get this point to you people. And then the last part would be what I really want to do, going back to my original concepts on my Truth Talk channel, was talking about philosophy, sociology, theology, the studies of man. So the last part, I'm actually going to be talking about how we all actually worship the same God. So that's my 3-part Truth Talk video coming up. This is Truth Talk with Tymon. Also, it's been like really, really windy. Some type of storm called Habu. Never heard of it. But man, it was really bad the other day. I mean, dust storms pretty much all night. Things blowing. And, wow. We had shed door closed and the other one with the roof around it, so I didn't really hear that rattling. We just heard a lot of rattling through the pipes of the house, though. Yeah. I might get a little loud, guys, because, I got to get my points across for all the, hate to say it, stupid people, because what did Trump say in this campaign? I love stupid people. Trump took our republic and made it into an autocracy. Remember when I was talking, I don't know if you guys seen the one video where I talked about 2 main types of state, which is a republic or a monarch. And then I take several different types of government, right? From dictatorships to just the military government to just, different types of government that I talked about, right? Well, the United States of America was founded as the Constitutional Republic of the United States, and our type of government has always been a democracy. Now later, when socialist programs were added, like Social Security, expansion of the education system with school lunches, things like that, right? So we've always had a democracy with some socialism. That's the way the United States has always been. Now, in less than 6 weeks, Trump destroyed our country. Destroyed our country. We are no longer a republic. We are an autocracy. An authoritarian dictatorship, as you will. Alright? We no longer have a republic. We no longer have a democracy. Trump destroyed it in less than 6 weeks. Do your history, do your research, look back in the 1930s. In less than 2 months, Hitler destroyed Germany. Trump is doing the same thing to the United States. Nobody else is going to say it, but I'll tell you, that's Nazism. You know, Elon Musk destroying everything, destroying U.S. aid, which is unconstitutional and is technically against the law. In fact, everything they've been doing is against the law. Well, yeah, that's my notes here. I'm gonna bring it down, man, because I gotta tell you how it is. I gotta tell you how it is. You know, USA was founded in 1961 by John F. Kennedy. All right. The United States. I'm gonna mess this up. Association for International Development. International development to help countries around the world. There are children dying. Vaccinations have been given to South Africa. Children are dying. The nets that we provide for mosquitoes, for the mothers. The different tests that we would do to help the mothers. And all these different things. People are dying because of what Musk did. Sometimes I wonder who's worse, Trump or Musk. They're evil. They're both the pinnacle of pure evil. In 1978, Carter expanded onto the USA, added more humanitarian programs. That Carter was the one that helped cure this one disease in Africa. I talked about that in the Carter video. Alright? They're destroying Carter's legacy. They're destroying Kennedy's legacy. They're even destroying Ronald Reagan's legacy. Ronald Reagan's legacy. In 1981, Reagan put in the law that no matter what a child's status is, no matter what the child's status is, they are allowed a proper education. Now children are scared. ISIS going on school buses, trying to round up kids. This is not America. This is not the country I fought for. We'll put cover up your eyes, people. You guys really want this country to keep going this way? We have to stand, we have to fight, we have to call congressmen, we have to call senators, we have to make sure they do what's right. We have to protest, we have to fight against this dictatorship. But look what they already did. When they already accessed some of our personal data, they're trying to destroy the Veterans Administration. They want to take away our Social Security, which has nothing to do with the government, because we pay into Social Security. We pay into it. We get money back. Now, Bernie and actually is trying to get a law passed to strengthen Social Security. It's just so boggled about what's going on. I mean, I looked at Trump and I feel like I want to choke him. I just, we have to stand strong. And we can't wait for 2 years until Democrats take back the House. We can't wait for 2 years. Look at the damage that's already been done. And he has no checks. He has no checks this time. He put all these evil people that's going to do his bidding in office. And look at the way they treated Zelensky. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about a true bully. Trump is a bully. He's a pathological liar. He has narcissistic personality disorder. And I can assess this because I have a degree in sociology. I study these type of things. And the way he bullied Zelensky was very uncalled for. Our country is not aligned with Russia? No. That's not what we fought for. That's not what we fought for. We fought against dictatorships. The people that was in World War II, they fought to destroy the Nazis, Nazism, and that way of life. Yes, a few small groups remained, but we fought against it. And now look at what's going on. It scares me. It scares the hell out of me. It scares the hell out of me. I'm a combat veteran. I fought for this country. And it scares me. Doesn't it scare you? Well, that's the first part of the video. I can't really see anything else but the first.
2,400 veterans fired.
2,400 veterans fired.
1,400.
Huh?
1,400.
1,400 veterans were just fired from their jobs. From the jobs.
And the scientists from NOAA. The
Yeah.
meteorologists.
Yep, the destroyer Noah that gets our weather patterns, that warns us of these dangerous weather things that's going on, and they want to dismantle that. They want to take away even Nixon's thing. I mean, Nixon, had the Watergate scandal and all that, and we got impeached for it, but he ended up resigning before the impeachment process. He actually did the right thing, unlike Trump, who would never do the right thing. I know I was going to end this, but my wife just brought that up. And just think about it. And then he wants to take us destroy the EPA. He already took us out of the Paris Accord again. He already took us out of the World Health Organization. We have a measles pandemic going on, and that was all but eradicated in 2000. Think about what's going on in this country. It scares the hell out of me. This is not my country. And this is only 6 weeks in. Imagine the damage that he's going to do in the next 4 years. Wow. Whew. I'm going to get on to talk about what a tariff is. I'm going to do the next part. I need to take a breather. I need to clear my mind. I mean, I could have screamed in this video because I am that angry inside. I am that angry inside. You can see my hand. And I just... Man, I can say something, but, this would get banned on YouTube. You know, how I really feel about Trump. All right, my friends. And that was just a few things I wanted to bring up. It's just, it's crazy. He's destroying everybody's legacies. Reagan's, Carter's, Kennedy's, even Nixon, who created the EPA. FDR's, the social programs he's taken away. All these previous presidents have worked hard to bring us where we were at, and now we're going backwards. And now we were going backwards. Oh my God, it's scary. Tariffs. Let's talk about tariffs. I'm going to start off with a few facts here, right? Because Trump thinks tariffs are the answer, right? He thinks it's the answer to bringing this country, the economy down. Well, I already talked about how he destroyed Clinton's legacy, and when I talked about the accomplishments of Biden. Well, Biden carried on a lot of Clinton's programs and a lot of Obama's programs. So he's already destroying Obama's legacy as well. He's already destroying Clinton's legacy as well. And the other known, all the stuff that Biden did, he's now trying to undo. Right? Like the lowered prescription drug cost. Right? The lowered prescription drug cost. You know, the act that Biden signed, he just erased it with the stroke of a pen, and now there's no caps anymore on the price of those drugs. Now the elderly are struggling even more in the United States, even more. All right. And now, think about this. You know, the poor already struggles. And now we're going to have to try to pay those taxes of the $4.5 trillion that he's trying to do in these damn Doge crap, which is all just a big Trump scam thing that he's trying to do. He's just trying to cut all the way down to nitty-gritty, Medicare, everything, so he can give $4.5 trillion to the super rich that don't even pay taxes. That's what the whole thing is about. Right? Now let's add tariffs on top of that. Now let's add tariffs on top of that. But a middle class is going to get poorer. The poor, a lot of others are going to become homeless. Trump's destroying our country, and I don't know how you guys cannot see that. The Morrill Tariff Act of 1860. The Morrill Tariff Act of 1860. Right? Raised tariffs from 15% up to 47% in 3 years. Think about it. Now get to the tariff war. And that tariff war raised the tariffs to almost 70%. You know, as they went back and forth after that 3 year time. Went back and forth, then it created that tariff war. And what happened? This country almost collapsed. The economy was tanked so bad that it almost collapsed. Now Trump is going to try to do the same thing. He's going to completely collapse Biden's economy. It didn't work. Didn't work. Look at that now. Look what he's doing with Canada. Look at what he's doing with Canada. Our ally. He's alienating Canada. Saying that all the fentanyl is coming in. Honestly, 0.2%. 0.2% of fentanyl comes from Canada. 0.2. That's 6,000 kilometer, because not 6, 9,000 kilometer border we have with Canada. Has already been being patrolled. Alright? And that was an act passed by Biden. You know, when he was doing the border program. You know, it was enacted under Biden. Of course, Trump took the credit for it because he's going to take the credit for everything. Because that's the way narcissists are. And now he wants to add the tariffs on Canada goods. Canada's going to add tariffs back. We're going to end up being on the tariff war with Canada, raising our cost of goods and services, particularly in vehicles. All right? Think about it. Steel, all that stuff. That is going to raise tariffs with Mexico. And yes, we should have some targeted tariffs. I talked about targeted tariffs before. We should have some targeted tariffs with Mexico. I agree with that. Because there is a lot of fentanyl that still comes from Mexico. And that would have been cured, that would have been stopped with the bipartisan border bill if it would have got passed. And both sides were in agreement with that border bill, which was tanked by Trump. Because he wanted chaos. He wanted chaos. Alright? The Biden and Harris bipartisan border bill would have solved a lot of these things. Plus, it would have added more border patrol agents. Would have added more centers for immigrants to be processing centers, and then it would have added more a faster path towards citizenship, and then it would have saved DACA as well. I have to think a little bit now, but think about all the stuff that would have been good from that, you know. All the good things that came from that. But instead, now we have more chaos. Because Trump wants on chaos. That's what narcissists do. They want on chaos. And I'm talking about the tariffs. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to the history of the tariff. Here's elementary school 101. I think I learned this, I think I was in 5th grade. We learned about the Boston Tea Party. You guys remember the Boston Tea Party? Remember the history that was being taught in school lessons? What were you guys at? Hate to say it, but I think some people were underneath the rock. Because, I don't know. Because, they'll tell you what a tariff actually is, you know. And what it was about, they raised the tariff on tea from India. That way the English would buy more tea from England. Now, they actually preferred the tea from India. And when that tariff was enacted, what did they do? They dumped all that English tea in the harbor, known as the Boston Tea Party. So that doesn't tell you how bad tariffs can be. Well, you know. We take a 20% tariff on a $600 television, raising that television to $900. And the tariff has to be paid for the country that enacted the tariff. You know, you think Canada's going to pay the tariffs? No, they're not. You think Mexico's going to pay the tariffs? No, they're not. You think China's going to pay the tariffs? No, they're not. We are. The taxpayer. The actual people that actually pay taxes. Because we pay more taxes to billionaires, which is a shame. We are. It's going to come out of our pocketbooks, out of our hard-earned money, out of our retirements, the stuff we worked for our entire lives. Get with it, people. Tariffs are dangerous. They can be. They can be good if used properly. Abused properly. Like you put a targeted tariff on something. Say you want to put a targeted tariff on Japanese steel. And you're building up steel again in the United States. You're building up steel again here. You're going to put a targeted tariff on a particular item just so you can get more of that item made in the country. That's a targeted tariff. That's a good thing. But what Trump is doing with tariffs across the board, that's a bad thing. I mean, that's like the Tariff Act of 1860 that tanked the economy. And that's exactly what's going to happen again. We're going to end up with tariff wars with our neighbor country, Canada, and boom. I mean, it's bad enough that we already alienated ourselves with the country that's fighting hard to save their democracy, Ukraine, treating the president like garbage when he came here, bullying him. Now, aligning ourselves with Russia, that's terrible. Now the tariffs, that's another terrible thing. But that's what a tariff really is, guys. That's what a tariff is. It is the next part of the video, and I'm going to have some fun. Puck, instead of the bad word, so I say P-U-C-K. Puck Trump. And Puck Musk and Puck Vance. P-U-C-K. You know, because that's just bad. I'm back here. Let's have some fun now. Let's do it back to the original history of my Truth Talk channel. Actually, my first video that I made when I had my original YouTube on this section of my original YouTube was about the dangers of river ice, because I lost my son Kenny, and it's really hard. That's what the thing is behind me. Probably have that glow from the light and that little bit of the window. That's the stuff about Kenny. When they found his phone and they found him in the ice, and when they recovered him, sure miss Ken Dog, and Yeah, I did videos about that, but the dangers of things like that. I talked about PTSD, I talked about overcoming different things, overcoming bullying. And then I started doing some things about philosophy and theology and biblical things. I got one on in fact, I did a remake of the one, but it's in the square format, not the full screen format. But about the life of Jesus. It's a longer video, but if you guys want to watch that one, it tells you about the life of Jesus, the Son of God. And so that's what the Truth Talk was all about until Trump came in office. Originally 8 years ago, and now back in office, destroying this country. So I've been doing a lot of anti-Trump things because, I stand up for what's right, and I stand against bullying, and I stand against things like that, the hate that he spews and the racism and all that stuff. So let's get back to what I really love to do, because these are my favorite studies right here, is the theology studies, and I got my Berean Study Bible here. I got several different Bibles. Some even have my name on it. And I have the original Geneva Bible from 1599, and then I have my name's actually on that one. That's another leather-bound one. There's a nice leather-bound one here too. It's not on this particular one. Where is it? No. It's on the Catholic Bible. I have a Catholic Study Bible, and then the original King James, 1611, when it has the word JHBH, Jehovah. And I'm going to talk about the names of God here. And not to brag about how many Bibles and stuff I have, just make a point that that's one of my favorite studies. Honestly, I don't go to church much anymore. I did for a long time when I first came here. And honestly, after Trump came back in, and I honestly, in my heart, I feel that I cannot be around a church that so many mega people go to, so many people that believe in Trump, believe in his hatred, believe in his bullying. To me, one cannot be a Christian and follow Trump. It's an oxymoron. You can't be a Christian and follow Trump. You can't be a Christian and follow those type of beliefs. You can't be. But I still do my reading, my studying, and still try to keep my faith. And here we go. The subject is, we all worship one God. We all worship one God. We all worship the same God. Now, there are exceptions, but I'm going to talk about the three main religions: Christianity, and Catholicism. They pretty much fall into one category, right? Judaism, which is the Jewish religion, right? And Islam. We all worship the same God in those religions. Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, they're all different. They're very spiritual. I have studied those. And I do want to talk about those type of religions in other videos. Okay? But here we go. And Galatians 4:21 to 31. I'm going to read that first. And I'm going to go to Genesis 21:9 to 21. So it's going to be pretty long reads here. I would have liked ribbons. I wish I had some more ribbons. I'm going to buy some ribbon to cut for my Bibles. Especially when I do these type of things. This is from the Berean Study Bible. And it's more the modern English that we speak now, not the old King's English. But what I like about this is the way they really break it down in the Berean Study Bible. Hagar and Sarah. Tell me, you who want to be under the law, do you not understand what the law says? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, one by the slave woman and the other by the free woman. Slave woman was Hagar, free woman was Sarah. Okay? His son by the slave woman was born according to the flesh. That would be Ishmael. But the son by the free woman was born through the promise, to the spirits and the promise. And that would be Isaac. These things serve as illustrations. For the women represent 2 covenants. One covenant is from Mount Sinai and bears children into slavery. So, past the Mount Sinai area and down, past it is a land to Arabia. Okay? This is Hagar. Now, Hagar stands for Mount Sinai in Arabia, which I just said, and corresponds to the present day Jerusalem. And because she is slavery with the children, but the Jerusalem above is free, and she is our mother. That would be Sarah. For it is written, rejoice, O barren woman, who bears no children. Break forth and cry aloud. You who have never traveled, because more are the children of the desolate woman, of who has a husband. Now you know, brothers, like Isaac, are children of promise. At that time, however, the son born with the flesh persecuted the son born by the Spirit. But it is the same now. That's the key thing. But it is the same now. But what does the scripture say? Expel the slave woman and her son. For the slave woman's son will never share an inheritance with the free woman's son. Therefore, brothers, we are not children of the slave woman, but of the free woman. It is freedom that Christ has set us free. That do not be encumbered once more by the yoke of slavery. It is freedom that Christ has set us free. Do not be encumbered anymore by the yoke of slavery. The other picture, this is a picture of my sponsored child. really these things actually go from 20 to 20, the whole chapter of 20, which you can read on your own, the whole chapter of 20 in Genesis, the whole chapter of 21, and all the way to 22 and 23. Really, the entire story goes all the way from 20, chapter 20, to 23. That's a lot of reading for a video. I'm not going to read all that, okay? But read in whatever version of the Bible you have. The NIV, the KJV, the KJB, the NKJV, whatever. You know, there's a lot. I know I said a lot of the acronyms. The Berean Study by the BSB, that's what this one is. The Catholic Bible, the New Revised Standard Editions, whatever Bible you have, okay? Whatever Bible you have, you read that. Please read that on your own, and really have an understanding of why we really truly do worship all the same God, no matter if you are a Muslim, a Jew, or a Christian. We all worship the same God. And really what I want to do on this is to get the point across that the anti-Semitism against the Jews, that's not Christian-like. Because what does Christian mean? To be Christ-like. Right? And really the people at that time were not Christian. They were Jewish. Because Jesus was Jewish. Right? So, don't be if you're an anti-Semite, then you're not a true Christian. And if you are a Muslim basher, or against people of Palestine, who are struggling right now, because that's the other thing I didn't talk about in this video, is the war that's going on, that went on for all that time, and hopefully we can keep this peace treaty up, the next negotiation process that's going on in Israel. Hopefully we keep these things up, okay? Because it's terrible, right? And we can't be bashing the Palestinians, the Islams. We can't be doing that. Because we all worship the same God. We all believe in the same thing. We all want the same thing at the end. We all want peace. We all want our path towards heaven. We all want to be close to the Father that's in heaven. We really all want the same thing. In fact, I have a copy of the Quran, and every once in a while I post a Quran verse. One of my favorite verses in the Quran is paraphrased: "He who has taken a life has killed all mankind, but he who has saved a life has saved mankind." It's paraphrased. It's from the Quran 5:23, and these are the things that I believe in. And we should all have peace. We really should all have peace. So 21 talks about the birth of Isaac. Now when you see the Lord, when it says the Lord in all caps, Lord, oh my gosh. You see the Lord in all caps, Lord, The original translation is Yahweh. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And they took the original names of God out of the Bible, and they replaced it with Lord in all caps. Now, when you see it and with the capital L and ORD, we're talking about the Lord Jesus, his Davidic lineage, which I talked about that when I talked about Jesus' journey in that long, I think it's a 53-minute video. I'm going to read part of this from 21 verse 9. It says, Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar, the Egyptian, had born to Abraham was mocking her other son, her son, but they both were born to Abraham. And she said to Abraham, expel the slave woman and her son, for the slave woman's son would never share in the inheritance of my son Isaac. Right? So that's what happened. She got expelled. She and her son got expelled. They became barren. They became desolate. They had to vote. And later they became, Ishmael is the pinnacle of what became known as the Islamic religion. And Isaac became the pinnacle of the carrying on of Abraham's teachings of the old Christianity of that time. Now remember, Jesus was a Jew, but after Jesus passed, those who still followed Jesus' teachings, because Jesus was the Christ that they believed in, they followed his teachings. He was Christ-like. So that's what Christianity meant. And the old Christianity, they really didn't celebrate the birthday of Jesus like we do, Christmas. I could talk about that in another video. I would actually want to do a video on the holidays and how they actually are linked to paganism. Right? Verse 11. Now, this matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son Ishmael. But God said to Abraham, do not be distressed about the boy and your maidservant. Listen to everything that Sarah tells you, for through Isaac your offspring will be reckoned. But I will also say, make a nation of the slave woman's son, because he is your offspring. Make a nation from the slave woman's son. The nations became the Arabian nations. The nations of Isaac became the original nations, with Jesus' journey. And they carried on the teachings from those nations. That's all I'm going to read from this. So let me go on. Let me do some paraphrasing. Let me go into some detail here. All right. Which I mentioned already. I don't want to beat a dead horse. But Ishmael went to the lands known as Arabia today. Mecca created known what is Islam, which some people call the Muslims. Right. Isaac went to the inherited all the other lands. He actually inherited all the other lands. Past Jerusalem, they carried on the father's teachings of the old Christianity. Right? Now, the name of God in the original telegramation is the 4 letters in the original Bible, the way the Bible was written. Right? YHWH. telegramation, and that is the name of God Himself, Yahweh, Yahweh, okay? However, the King James, the original King James Bible, was written as JHVH, and it became translated as Jehovah. And who carried over that? Well, we can talk about that. The Jehovah's Witnesses, you see, they're not going to get to work, you know. And honestly, I went through the entire thing with the Jehovah's Witnesses. I invited them in. Went through the entire thing. Then I'm going to read all their pamphlets and everything. Went through the entire thing. And I was on the verge of actually becoming one. I didn't. But I wanted to understand their teachings and where they were coming from. To keep my mind open, my heart open. You know, embracing our people. Okay? Now the Son of God, not God Himself, but the Son of God is Yeshua. Yeshua in the original translations. YSH. YSH. Just 3 letters. That was the name of Jesus in the original translation, which became translated as Yeshua. Alright? And then this translation could be Joshua, but the King's English became known as Jesus. So that carried over and all the Bibles after the 1599, 1560 versions of the Geneva Bible, which was the first one published for the public on the decrees of Queen Elizabeth I. And then, no, sorry. I believe that's right. And then the 1611 King James Bible, the first edition, 1611, and then there was a second edition that was brought to the churches. That was a bigger Bible that had the pictures, some of the childlings of Jesus, things like that, and some of the names started getting changed. And then you got the new King James Bibles, and then all that other stuff. And then they took the name of God out of those Bibles. Like I talked about, Lord, L-O-R-D, caps, and Lord, L-O, capital L-O-R-D, and that's Jesus. Right? Because Jesus' name is mentioned in the Bible, but you don't see the original name of God much in the Bibles anymore. Now, the name of God in Islam, in the Islamic religions, is Allah. You know, you probably heard it in movies, Allah. Now, Allah means God, not just in the Islamic religion, but it also means God with the Christians of Islam, because there's Christians in the Islamic faith too. It means God for both. And they also believe in some of the teachings of Jesus. They believe in, they recognize that He was crucified. They recognize that He made sacrifice. And don't forget, both religions came from the same person, Abraham. Abraham. He was the father of both religions. First son, Ishmael, Islam, faith. Second son, Isaac, the Christianity faith. So, we all worship the same God. So stop the bashing. Stop the anti-Semitism, the hate for the Jews. Stop the hate for the Palestinians and Islams and the Muslims. Stop it. Because we all want the same thing. We all want peace. We all want to be by our Heavenly Father one day. I want to be by my son one day. We all want the same thing. So stop it. That's the end of my truth talk. Thank you.